Thank you for this comment from the Java Llamas 80s tribute. I'm interested to hear your band, but they write, children in other developed countries get way better meals than American children at school. I want to push back on this because I feel like it's a very common tactic used by the right to criticize the way government does things in order to undermine the government and then destroy the government, essentially. They underfund the government and then they say, look how incompetent the government is. Let's privatize everything. Let's dismantle the government. So I want to push back on this and ask the question, are children in other countries getting better meals than children in the United States? Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about what meals look like in other countries. Now, my source for this is a fairly popular Medium article that was published in 2021 that showed photos of school meals from around the world. And there's been a few articles on this. This is an example of a possible school meal from China. It's going to vary a little bit, but you can see there's some nice roasted vegetables. There's some a nice meat protein, a bao bun, some broth. Looks delicious. This next example is a school meal from France, and France is often held up as this, shining beacon of food quality throughout the world. They're known as a foodie culture. Here you have this very lovely tomato and cucumber salad. You got some baguette and butter. You got some meat and roasted broccoli, and there's a little apple tart up at the top. Delicious, right? Now this is a school meal from India. This is a vegetarian meal. There's some dal, there's some roasted vegetables, there's some cauliflower, and there is some bread. India has the largest school meal program in the world. They have instituted universal free school meals for their children as an anti-famine initiative, and they serve something like 100 million meals per day. So this meal I think is fairly modest, but it is heavy on legumes and vegetables. I think it would be pretty filling for a kid. So this is an example of one of the most successful school lunch programs in the world, which is from India. And then this one is my personal favorite. This is the one that I would really chow down on. This is from Brazil, and it is a typical school meal from Brazil. You see that you've got the black beans, which Brazil is famous for, plantains, which, are very close to my heart as my family's from the Caribbean. We got this very tasty cilantro and pepper meat dish, some salad, and some really tasty whole grain bread. Beautiful, beautiful spread. Now the question then is, are children in the United States receiving meals anywhere close to this? Well, let's take a look. Now I'm going to speak specifically about California because that is what I know, that's what I'm most familiar with, and I want to show you some examples of school meals from the state of California. So this is a breakfast. This is from Mount Diablo Unified School District, which is just east of San Francisco. It's a relatively well-off school district, and this is an example of their breakfast fruit and yogurt parfait. The kiwi is locally sourced from California, locally grown California. The bananas, obviously not so much. But you've got this beautiful yogurt parfait that I think would not be out of place at any coffee shop. And this is not special for them. Their Instagram has lots of different yogurt parfaits. So this is a typical breakfast that they serve at that school district. Looking again at Mount Diablo Unified School District, this is a Thanksgiving meal that they served to their students, folks who maybe weren't going to get a Thanksgiving meal any other way. They offered this beautiful composed plate of turkey, mashed potatoes, and green beans. So I don't think this is out of place on any other plates of that Medium article about school food from around the world. I think this is a beautiful example. My last example from Mount Diablo Unified School District, this is a beautiful halal chicken plate. Clearly they must have some folks who adhere to the halal diet in their school district, and so they want to provide food that they can eat. This looks beautiful. I would order this at a restaurant. It's got a little yogurt sauce. It's got these roasted tomatoes, this beautiful sort of turmeric rice. I mean, it looks fantastic. lest you think that it's just that one school district who is doing good work around fresh food. This is from Riverside Unified School District, which is in Southern California. This is their salad bar. They offer this every day at lunch, and salad bars are actually a really great option for school districts wanting to offer fresh fruits and vegetables, offer more variety, because a salad bar means that kids can pick and choose. So they don't have to, just pick the one salad that's on offer, just pick the one fruit or the one vegetable. They can have a variety. And these are relatively easy to prep. You can, quickly chop the fruits and vegetables. You don't have to cook them. You can just do some quick chopping and throw them in the chiller. The barrier to this is, of course, you have to have these specific tables to serve the salad bar. And these are actually pretty expensive. So not every district can afford to have salad bar options in every cafeteria classroom, but Riverside does. And these oranges in particular were sourced right locally, just a few miles away from the school. So that's one example of what school districts are doing. This is an example of a taste test of a meal, cheesy baked pasta. This is a taste test that was run by San Luis Coastal Unified School District. And they do these taste tests so that they can make sure that the recipes that they're using and putting into place in their cafeteria are things that kids will actually want to eat. But this is beautiful. This looks like anything that you would find in any of those pictures from around the world. And the school districts that I've been mentioning are maybe not wealthy, but they're not the poorest of the poor school districts in California. And lest you think I am biased towards the more wealthy districts in California, this is one from Oakland, USD. And Oakland is a city that has some wealth and some also pockets of intense poverty. There's a lot of income disparity in Oakland, and that is reflected in its school district, which is facing bankruptcy right now. So this is not one of the better run school districts, better funded school districts in California, but this is an example of a school meal from Castlemont High School in Oakland. And you've got chicken drumsticks, you've got some beans that look delicious, you got a beautiful apple, a little roll, and this nice cucumber salad. Kids can also get some carrot sticks. This looks beautiful. Again, not that out of pace with what kids would receive in the rest of the world. And these are fresh baked muffins from the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District. And this is an example of what they serve for breakfast. So they are lucky enough to have the facilities to bake on site. And so they're making these beautiful fresh muffins for kids. This looks delicious. And again, it's tricky because in order to bake these muffins, they have to make sure they have the right amount of whole grains so that they qualify for USDA reimbursement. They have to be low in sugar, they have to be low fat, they have to be low sodium. They have to adhere to all of these guidelines, and yet the school district is doing a great job serving freshly baked muffins to their students. So obviously the examples that I'm giving you are not every school, and they're certainly not in every state. California is a wealthier state than a lot of other states, and California has done a couple of things, one of which is to try to emphasize fresh food and cooked food in their school meals. There's districts throughout the state that are working to do that, and they have also instituted universal school meals, which means that the state is supplementing the gaps in funding from the USDA, from the national government, to make sure that every school child in California can have a free school meal. They have put a ton of funding towards school meals, and that means that the school meal programs have more money to work with, more money to buy tables for their salad bars, to train their staff to cook food, to buy convection ovens so that they can bake muffins on site. So California has done a lot of these things. We have implemented a lot of these proposed reforms, but I think it's really, really important that we push back on narratives that are put in place often by the right to undermine confidence in what government can do in order to dismantle government. So I don't know that this is true. I would say that children in developed countries may get consistently better meals than in the US, but not universally. So I, yeah, push back.